And welcome into the inaugural Doug Russell Podcast video edition. Quick 60 to 120 seconds on what's going on in the world of sports. Of course, coming up tonight, it's the Packers versus the 49ers. Who's going to be healthy enough to play? I guess that's the big question, right? Because the 49ers, everybody is injured. I mean, it's a who's who. All of their running backs are injured. Jimmy Garoppolo is injured. George Kittle is injured. Dee Ford is injured. Nick Bosa is injured. Everybody that's anybody that you've ever heard of on the 49ers is hurt for tonight's game. As for the Packers, they're down to their fourth-string running back in Dexter Williams. That's because literally everybody else is hurt, or they've come down with COVID-19, or they've been in close contact with someone who had COVID-19. Well, A.J. Dillon is the player that's come down with the COVID-19. Jamal Williams had close contact as deemed by the NFL. Aaron Jones obviously still too injured to play tonight as well. So Dexter Williams and Tyler Ervin, they're going to be the ones that get all the carries. And at wide receiver, I think it's going to be interesting for the Packers tonight as well, because Davante Adams has been getting, as you would suspect, the lion's share of Aaron Rodgers' passes. But we're still waiting for somebody else to step up. There was a thought that Will Fuller might be a good fit for the Packers in a trade from the Texans this past week, but Houston, at least according to reports, was asking for a second-round pick. Brian Gutekunst didn't want to give him a second-round pick for a wide receiver who's a good player, but I don't know that he's worth a second-round pick. Anyway, still waiting for guys like Allen Lazard to get healthy and consistent, and still waiting for guys like Equanimeous St. Brown and Marquez Valdez-Scantling to show that they're legitimate NFL receivers. St. Brown dropped a couple of passes. No, they weren't easy drops last week, but still an NFL wide receiver has got to hang on to those balls. MVS started his career 3 years ago with a bang, but has kind of regressed to the median ever since, and we're still waiting for him to assert himself as someone who can be trusted by his quarterback on a regular basis. So those are the things that I'm looking for tonight. It's going to be a sloppy game because, again, all the stars aren't going to be in the game for either team tonight except for Adams and for Rodgers on the side of the Packers. So what else can we see from St. Brown? What else can we see from MVS? What else can we see from the tight ends who are starting to emerge as well? I think it'll be an interesting game tonight. That's putting it mildly, but I don't think you're going to see the blowouts that the Packers have suffered at the hands of the 49ers, at least in the 2019 season, both in the regular season and then, of course, in the NFC Championship game as well, because those teams that you saw last year, you're not going to see on the field tonight. There's no Raheem Mostert. There's no, again, George Kittle. There's no Jimmy Garoppolo. The list goes on and on and on and on. All right, coming up tomorrow on the Doug Russell Podcast, which you can catch on really anywhere you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever. Just search for the Doug Russell Podcast. We'll have a full recap of tonight's Packers-49ers game, and we'll have some fun for you tomorrow as well on the regular podcast. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll see you soon.